Hello, Dean here. Today we're looking at where they shot some of the scenes from Game of Thrones, specifically in the city of King's Landing. We're going to Croatia and we're going to Malta. If you haven't seen the series yet, there's no spoilers. We're just taking a look at where they shot some of these scenes. Let's hop in. The majority of King's Landing throughout the series is shot in Dubrovnik, Croatia. We're in Southern Europe. Here's the Earth. This is where I am. Oh, that's Florida. This is where I am. And over here in Southern Europe, we are now in Croatia. You can see here that some of the mountains are 3D rendered, the topographical details are 3D rendered, but this city, unfortunately, has not had the same treatment a lot more populous centers have had. I'm flying over this and you can see outlines of buildings. This is not 3D, but in some places like New York and Toronto and Paris and London, this will be 3D, and you can get down and fly through a 3D rendering of what the city kind of looks like. If I get close enough to a certain location, somewhere that a Street View car has gone through, I can click this bubble, and here I am in Street View. First location we'll be looking at is a famous staircase where a character has to walk down in shame. It is located outside the Church of St. Ignatius, and this is where it is. Right on this peninsula of this old town. You zoom in here and we have a bunch of different angles. Any of these rooftops look familiar? There's where we want to be. Oh, he's connected some of these photos too. When you see this indicator, that means this guy here has walked along here and connected these photos. So it looks like he's gone along the wall, which is really cool. We'll check some of this out in a bit. Here we are, where's my bubble? This looks like the top of the staircase. Is this the church, St. Ignatius? As you can see, it's a pretty popular square to be hanging out in. Oh, here we go. This is what we want to see. All right, here it is. We're at the top of the staircase of shame. I mean, I don't want to call it that. I don't think it's called the staircase of shame, but the shaming staircase. And look at all the nice awnings. The neat thing about these popular places is so many people have been there that even though there might not be a street view, you can usually fish around and find different 360 photos from different years, if you're lucky. But this is the top of the stairs. Our character Cersei would have started and walked down the stairs. Here we are down the stairs. This lady's got a nice 360 camera. Thanks for taking that photo, man. I'm gonna rotate it around me. Look at this. We can have another angle of the markets, and we're gonna rotate the world. And here's the famous staircase. There's a blonde right there walking down. Shame. Shame. Here it is, guys. Dubrovnik, the Jesuit staircase. Here we are on Stratton Street in Dubrovnik. This is where they film a lot of the market scenes. As you can see, the architecture looks quite familiar. We're just gonna go for a walk because someone has connected all these photos. Thank you very much. You're the real hero. And here we go. Look at this nice old arches and columns. There's a tower. I wonder if that's the bell tower. Coming around this corner, some of this would have been in the show. Maybe that's the bell tower. You can imagine the street full of Lannisters and citizens of King's Landing. And you don't have to imagine, because you can just look at the show, watch the show. There we go, down this polished street. I'm sure their tourism has increased exponentially since the show. And look at that tower right there. We're getting up close. Ring the bell. This is the entrance to the Red Keep. We're going into the keep. We're going into the Red Keep. And we're gonna walk down. All these photos have been connected thanks to this Google contractor. Look at that dark alleyway. I wonder what went on down there. So this is the entrance to Old Town at the East Gate, and it is used extensively in the show. All this old, beautiful stonework. And here we are back at Stratton Street. A lot of the show takes place around here. The Old Town, obviously, the oldest infrastructure in the city, and the harbor. So here in the West Harbor, as it's called, you can see this pier here, and if we can get close. Look at that, someone's walked down here already onto this pier, and what a view. What a view of these walls. Right over here in the West Harbor, there's a scene in season 2 where the Gold Cloaks go to murder some of the bastard sons.
Oh, we're walking, walking, here we are, we're walking. Get off of there!
I can't swim.
This pier here is where you would see Shay. Out here is the Battle of Blackwater Bay. This is the harbor of King's Landing. So all of this people have explored, and you can go on Google Maps yourself and find these locations. A lot of the scenes of King Joffrey took place here, and he would have stood up there. His name day took place here in this fort. Back in the harbor, you can see how tall that fort is. What an amazing view. All along this wall, we would have seen ships. Blackwater Bay, here it is, folks. Blackwater Bay. So hopefully that's piqued your interest a little bit in Dubrovnik. You can go on Google Maps yourself and drag the little Street View guy around and check out some of these sites yourself. You don't need VR to explore this. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on the computer. So Dubrovnik in Croatia, hive mind of Game of Thrones scenes. In the first season, the majority of the King's Landing scenes were shot on the island of Malta. Here we are, if we're looking at the world. We're just gonna zoom in so we can see past the clouds. And here's Italy, down at the bottom of Italy. Down here is Malta. Luckily, Malta has been 3D rendered. So for me, the depth of this is just amazing. But if you get up close, it doesn't look so good. But since this is 3D rendered, I can fly down the streets and avoid the trees. But let's say there's a nice coffee shop in here in Malta, and I want to see what it looks like. Boom, I'm in Street View. I heart guts. I heart my guts too. So look at this. Look at all these towers on top of buildings. We're going in right into this street. It's more immersive being in virtual reality with all these buildings being 3D. It kind of feels a little claustrophobic. We're taking a right. We're taking a right here. So here on the western center of Malta is St. Dominic's Convent, and you will recognize this garden. Let's see if we can get into it. Oh, there's the view. There's the view. Is the scene of the garden where Cersei and Ned talk a lot. A lot of the characters have conversations in this garden in season 1. Where are we now? Oh, we're at a different angle. So there it is. Needs a bit of a long cut, but pretty amazing. Another location for season 1 is in a similar area. It is, oh, it's over here. It's Medina's Gate, and look at this old like moat structure. This is a gate where Ned says goodbye to his wife as she leaves to go back to Winterfell, and he's stays in King's Landing. Here we are right underneath the gate. Oh, some big doors. Oh, a bunch of cannons. Didn't see those in the show, did ya? So just north of the main island of Malta is Gozo. There were a lot of other scenes besides King's Landing filmed in season 1 in Malta. And one of them is where the Dothraki wedding, where Daenerys marries Khal Drogo. Where Daenerys marries Aquaman. This location is called the Azure Window, and I believe it is no longer standing today. It has fallen. Unfortunately, that may be it there, but apparently it has collapsed. Yeah, so this could be it here. This is what it looks like today, more recently. So this is where apparently some of the Dothraki scenes were shot, and these cliffs some of these cliffs up here where they camped out. A lot of these scenes are supposed to take place on the other side of the world of Game of Thrones, but they were just a little bit north. So hopefully if you've enjoyed my short little tour, please subscribe, press the like button, do me a favor. There will be more content like this of movies and historical locations, and we'll be exploring a lot more together if you want to stick around. So thanks for watching. Have yourself a wonderful day.